A year ago, you knew full well who your quarterback was going to be, and now you've got three guys. Is that a nice problem to have three talented quarterbacks, or is it just an extra challenge that you'd rather not have to deal with going into the season?
No, I mean, just replacing the experience is obviously paramount, but we feel like we do have three guys that are talented, that bring something to the table. And in my short career, I've been in positions where, you maybe didn't have that, so it's definitely a nice thing to have. It's a nice challenge. It's a nice problem to have. I think those guys are handling it the right way, and they're just kind of going out and competing, and that's the thing with the quarterback competition is the biggest thing you want to continue to develop as a quarterback room is for them to pull for one another, and seriously and genuinely do that. And I feel like we have that in our room right now, which is really, really, kind of a special thing.
It's easy to look at size of the players and 40 times and that kind of thing, but there's also, as you said, learning the offense and understanding defenses and accuracy. And what do you prize the most when you're evaluating quarterbacks? What's most important to you?
Just someone that can really make the team better, and I know that's people don't really like to hear that. They like to hear a guy that goes and throws for 80% completion percentage and all these other stat stuff, and that's certainly a factor of it. But the thing we just talk about all the time ad nauseum is that quarterback's really got to make everyone else around him better. Those other 10 guys that are out there with him, he needs to elevate their play, and there's a lot of ways to do it. It's hard to quantify, but you just kind of know it when you see it. And, that's something that we're chipping away at every day with our guys.
Every coach, every player wants to be better each year than they were the year before. You look at this stat sheet, though, you averaged almost 39 points a game, almost 500 yards per game. What do you want to see as far as improvement in an offense that was pretty powerful last year?
Yeah, certain areas we for sure have to improve. I think just the main thing is consistency. I just think for us and our standard, there's a little too much just up and down. So I think the consistency, and then we just talk about it all the time. We've got explosive players, so we need to be explosive more consistently. I think we got to operate at a higher rate and at a higher level. And with that, I think those explosive plays need to come along with that. And that needs to be a byproduct of it. So that's something we've really spent time on, something that we've emphasized with our guys, and something we should see this year.
I'm guessing if you have a name in mind for someone who's leading the race at quarterback, you're not going to tell us. But do you have a timeline when you would like to know, you and Coach Dykes would like to have that ironed out?
Yeah, you always would love to kind of really iron it out before the season. But, if it goes on into the season and you got to see them play in live bullets, then we've done that before too, and so you'd love to have a set timeline, but we kind of know it's hard to do that, and you kind of need to let it play out and let it ride.
When you have a situation like this year with multiple candidates replacing a proven veteran, obviously you have people like me coming to you at practice and saying who's going to be the starter. Why make that announcement at all? Why not just show up at the first game and roll somebody out?
Yeah, there's really no reason to for the public knowledge, other than just maybe your guys on the team knowing, really there's no other reason to do it.
When you look at the offense, obviously you spend a lot of time with the quarterbacks, but overseeing the whole offense, is it too early to say? Is there one group that looks significantly improved, maybe more so than the others?
Man, that's really kind of a tough question. I really am impressed with the offensive line, and I was in the spring. We just have so many more numbers. Really, we're running out there 3 and almost 4 deep and feel like we're pretty damn functional doing that, and that just doesn't happen all the time. So the luxury of having that right now, a lot of depth there, has made a huge difference with just how we practice and our mentality. We've got a lot of new faces from last year's squad in the tight end room, and I think they're definitely going to be a weapon for us, and I've been impressed with that group as a whole so far. And then really receiver-wise, we know that there's a lot of talented people in there. Again, we're a lot deeper than what we were a year ago, we feel like. And so it'll just be interesting to see when the live bullets are really going, how they play, But I know it's kind of probably a long answer, but the biggest jump really is probably the running back room. Probably the biggest jump from spring to right now. Just because we have so many, that's a completely new room. There's just so many different guys. And so we're able to really rep guys differently now than what we've been able to do since I've been here.
Speaking of the running backs, TJ McDaniel got hurt last year. Does that increase depth allow you and the staff, both training staff and coaching staff, allow you to be more patient with him and ease him back more slowly if he needs it?
Yeah, it kind of gives you a little added luxury for sure. But, you know, even if that wasn't the case, we still just got to be smart with TJ and do what's best for him. But it definitely is nice as a coach knowing that you kind of have some other guys you can build off of.
Obviously, you had two key guys who got hurt last year, TJ and Reggie, both. And as they work their way back, do you sort of have to script two game plans depending on how ready they are at the first game of the year, or is it just you do your game plan, and if they're not ready, the backups have to be ready to step in?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to be ready now. We're backups, those other guys got to be ready to roll, and we got to be able to go operate what we would want to operate if those guys were playing, you know, and that's just kind of where we're at offensively. That's kind of the expectation. It's year two of the same offense, so we should be able to settle in and really roll now.